Hi guys, my name's Claire, for those of you who don't know me, co-founder of Brave Yoga, and super happy to have you all here. Thanks for those who dialed into Zoom before for a little chat. We'll start today in child's pose, so you can have your toes together at the back and knees wide, or if your knees are not very happy, having them close together is also an option as well. And just relaxing your forehead into the mat. So the Spotify playlist for today is written in the comments section in this chat. So just have a look and you can start your music now so we're on together. And we're going to take a moment just to focus on the things in our life that we actually have control over. So take a big breath in together. And as we exhale, imagine just exhaling all the things that we cannot control. Breathing in deep. Exhale, imagine things you cannot control, such as external events, world events, the suffering around the planet, all of things that your everyday actions cannot control. As you breathe in, thinking about the things you can control in your life and focusing on those, such as your meditation practice, your yoga practice, such as being kind, the food and nutrition you choose to put into your body, the sleep that you choose to have, practice of self-love and nurturing of yourself and others in your life that you care about. Inhale, filling the belly. Exhale, big release. Inhale the things you can control. And exhale all those other worries that you can't control. Gently starting to walk your hands forward and make little tabletops or little teepees with your fingers, so it's an active child's pose. Start to engage through the shoulders, push into the floor with the fingertips and wake up the shoulder muscles. The more you push into the floor, the more active your pose will be. Gently releasing the elbows down. Inhale, reaching over, up and the right hand up, and exhale, twisting gently under the body. So we start with a twist in your child's pose. Letting the body be heavy here. Letting that twist not too deep because we're not warm yet. Inhale back to center, neutral spine, resting forehead to the floor, relax. Inhale, left hand comes up, gaze up slightly. Exhale, underneath the body, twisting the arm, relaxing neck and head onto floor, relaxing elbows and arms. Finding the twist in the spine, but not going too far. Gently pushing through the right hand to come back to tabletop position. We'll tilt the tailbone down to make sure that we're engaging through the core. And just first push into the shoulders, protracting the shoulders up towards the roof, rounding between the shoulder blades. Inhale into our cat-cows. We drop the belly, look up to sky, breath in. Exhale, tilt the tailbone down, gaze towards belly, exhale. Inhale again, belly drops, gaze up. Exhale, push the floor away and really curve that spine up towards the roof. Taking a few movement now, like forward and back on the wrists. Maybe you want to take some wrist stretches so you can turn your hands towards the body. And as you exhale, come up onto your toes and gently move away from your wrists. It's quite an intense wrist stretch, so just be gentle here. Maybe you don't come so far, that's okay. Bringing hands back to the center and then slowly to the side as we make little circles. We move the body weight over the wrists, so there's a bit of pressure on the wrists to start to get those wrists used to weight bearing. And then change direction if you've only gone one way, so we're nice and even. Last wrist stretch will be a decompression, so the tops of the hands go to the floor and gently sit back. So you'll start to notice that there's a decompression in that wrist joint. So you've got the bones moving away from each other, which is also a really beautiful stretch if you get any wrist pain. Placing the hands back onto the floor, tucking the toes under and just lifting the knees just a little bit off the floor. It's really common to tilt through the pelvis here, so tuck the tailbone, suck in the core, and push through those shoulders even more. The knees are just floating, so don't take them up too far. Keep them nice and low. Lift the left foot up, and then bring it up to your elbow and hold. 3, 2, 1, and back. Other side, so we lift the right foot up, bring it up towards the elbow for 3, 2, 1, take it back. We've got one more set, but we're going to the wrist. Take the left knee to the wrist for 3, 2, 1, take it back. Other side to the wrist on the right side, 3, 2, 1, take it back. And now walk the feet back straight into your plank. Option to come onto your knees if this is too much for the wrists. If you're staying up on your plank, protract through shoulders and push through the heels towards back of room. So we don't want the glutes coming up or too low. It's nice and straight. Gaze between the hands. Everyone for the first chaturanga, bring the knees down. Bring the chest over. We want to avoid chicken wings. That's like a tricep dip. We slowly come down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to floor. The hands come under shoulders, lift the hands up maybe, and then start to lift with your back strength. Neutral neck, gaze towards floor. Push tops of feet into the floor. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, releasing down. Reverse chaturanga, so we start to push up, straight through our chaturanga. Option to have knees down, and then back through downward dog. Taking a big breath in together. Exhale, release. I like to just shake my head a little bit from side to side to release the neck. Gazing between the hands, walking the feet slowly into the hands, putting the weight into the hands as you walk up. Folding forward, bending your knees as much as you need to get the hands on the ground. Let the head be heavy. Push through the legs, bend the knees as you slowly stack the vertebrae on top of each other to come up to standing position. Hands to the heart and close the eyes. Taking a moment to really set that intention to focus on those things in your life that you can control. You can control if you're kind to others. You can control your nutrition. You can control your yoga. So those little things might seem trivial, but it really allows us to focus on things that we can have an impact on. And the most important thing we have an impact on through doing this is our positive mentality or mindset. At the top of your mat, inhale, reach hands up to sky. Exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back, gaze towards floor. Exhale, hands down, stepping back, so just taking one leg back at a time, but with control, doing it slow and using that core. Now, option to lower the knees to the floor, or we come down in full chaturanga, so coming forward and down, elbows tight towards the body, all the way down. Inhale, we push hands to the floor and come into an upward facing dog. We roll the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes, push the tops of the feet into the floor. Tuck the toes, pushing up and back, downward facing dog. There's a slight inward rotation of the hips here, of the femur, and pushing through the backs of the heels, walking up the legs, so pedaling through one and then the other to start to feel the hamstring open a little bit. Coming up onto the tips of the toes, and exhale, we come down and feel through the backs of those legs, pushing the heels into the ground. And it doesn't matter if they don't reach. If your heels are off the floor, that's okay. Over time, you will start to straighten the legs. And bending the knees is really important too if you're quite tight in the hamstrings, to make sure you're getting that weight over your legs and you're not doing all of the weight onto your wrists. Look between the hands, option to step or jump. If you have a little jump, try and control it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lift up, rise. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands to floor. Option to step or jump back with control. Option lower knees or full chaturanga. Option here to come to 90 degrees and then flipping up into your up dog with thighs lifting. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, come up, warrior one. So with a warrior one, we want train tracks, which means that your feet have space, which means your hips have space as well. Walk your front foot forward, come a little deeper. Your foot is 60 to 90 degrees so that you can turn your hips forward. Inhale, hands up. The elbows can be slightly bent, so you have a bit more relaxation through the shoulders. Exhale, hands to floor. Moving through your chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale to your up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Checking your hips. I actually will often twist my hips myself because I naturally am tight. So I'll often come up looking a bit like this. And I actually get my hands and I twist my hips forward. And I make sure that my front knee is in line with my front heel, my front ankle, because sometimes it sneaks back a little bit. Hands up, tilt your tailbone down, lift through the chest. Squeeze your legs together. It's really active. You should start to feel it. Exhale, hands to floor. Move through your flow. So high to low. Inhale to come up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. So the feet slightly move. Watch that foot to arch alignment, so heel to arch alignment. Watch that front knee over the front ankle. Gaze towards front middle finger. Walk that front foot forward a little bit. Come deeper. We're actually opening the hips here, so watch that knee isn't sinking in towards that big toe. Tilt tailbone, lift up through chest. Exhale, hands to floor, flow. Option a one-legged chaturanga if you want to take it a little further. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Quick exhale to warrior two. Checking your legs, maybe sending them a little wider if you want to deepen your experience. Gaze towards front middle finger. Lift the toes on the front foot. Push through the heel and pull your feet together like you're magnetizing your feet towards each other to activate and lift. Exhale, hands to floor. Move through your flow. Option one-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reach forward, reverse warrior. Paint the roof. So with your warrior, if you can relax your neck and head, you can have a back traction with your left hand, placing on your left hip, pushing the hip down to create less compression in the back so you can actually go a little further. Exhale, come back through warrior two, hands to floor. Move through your flow. Option is lowering the knees or full chaturanga or one-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg rises, inhale. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Flip front palm, reach forward. Inhale, reverse. Again, just seeing if you have that little back traction, if you create a little more space to go a little deeper. Front knee stays bent. Exhale, warrior two. Moving through your flow, vinyasa. Options, knees down, knees up, or one-legged chaturanga. Inhale to rise. Exhale, home base, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, we rise. Getting faster, getting that cardio. Exhale, warrior two. Flip from palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, coming back through warrior two, extended side angle. So option one, you can rest on your quad. Option two, coming all the way to the floor if you're working on that flexibility. If you're working on a side bend, you can start to open here. So feeling this line from the tips of the fingers down to the back foot. If you want to start opening the shoulders, left hand can come behind you. Maybe there's an early bind. Don't have to. Just see what feels good for you today. Exhale, left hand comes down towards the floor. Come up onto back toes. Inhale, rise towards the right. Into a deep twist. Exhale, hands to floor. Step foot back and move through your chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more side left. Inhale, left up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip your palm, reach up and back. Reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two, extended side angle. Option hand up, or you can have your hand on the floor if you're working on flexibility. If you want an extra side bend, you can reach the hand towards the front of the room and try to flatten your hips towards an imaginary wall in front of you. Or if you want to bind, reach behind you, clasping the hands and opening that top shoulder towards the roof, not hunching down. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, come onto your back toe. Inhale, left arm rises into twist. Exhale, hands to floor. You got it, move through your flow. Option knees down or chaturanga or one-legged chaturanga. Inhale up and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of lion's breaths here. So we're going to take a big breath in. Exhale. So you can stick your tongue out and make a really loud noise and freak all your roommates out or your next door neighbors. So we just stick our tongue out and roar. Are you ready? Big breath in. Exhale. It's pretty horrible on the microphone. I'm sorry. One more big breath in. Exhale. Look between the hands. Bend the knees. Step or maybe jump between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees and slowly rise up. Hands to center. Step your feet about hip width apart and breathe. So lion's breath really helps us release tension and heat. And it also is great just to get people smiling. Inhale, reach the hands up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Option step or jump back to high plank. As you exhale, come down to low plank. Inhale into your upward facing dog and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. So you want to point the toe and bring the knee as close as you can towards your nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Maybe they touch. Maybe you get the upper arm bonus points. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to right elbow, maybe right upper arm, bonus points. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to left elbow, straighten the leg underneath you for fallen triangle, lifting left arm up. So your gaze can be down to release the neck. Extra challenge, if you do start to have your wrist hurt, come onto your elbows. Extra challenge is lift that bottom leg. Maybe there's a bind if you want to take it that little bit further. Hold for one more breath. Exhale, coming back through, up to your three-legged dog. Exhale, between the hands, deep lunge. Get comfortable here. So make a little bit of space so you're on your train tracks. Push through your back heel, push through your front heel. Slowly start to rise up into arrowhead pose. So with arrowhead, we don't want our belly resting on our thigh. It's really active through that back leg, but also into that front heel. Fingers are pointing behind you, palms facing down, really strong in that front quad. Inhale, lengthen. We cross the thumbs, reach forward for extended arrowhead. Hold for another breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist over towards the right. So we're coming into a twisted crescent lunge. So neck can relax here. You want to have your hands in the center of your chest to allow you to intensify that twist. If this feels like quite good for you, you can practice with opening the arms. This is going to make it a little tougher for balance and also for opening. As you inhale, come up into your warrior two. Bending through that front knee and just checking that it's nice and deep so you're getting that real quad work here. Inhale to rise up and exhale, extended side angle. So if you're starting with yoga, you can stay here or come to the floor. If you've already got your bind, then I've got a little extra challenge for you. So if you have your bind and you're opening your chest and you're comfortable here, you can have a play with two different things. You can do Bird of Paradise, which I often teach, and Wes has been teaching this week. Or if you want an extra challenge, it's Bound Half Moon. You're actually going to lift that back leg up. So you're going to walk the back leg forward and see if you can have a play with rising it up. It's actually really hard, even for me, but it's good to have a little challenge. And if that is too much for you, normal Bird of Paradise is totally cool. That's lifting the top leg and extending out once you're up. If you're still hanging out down in your extended side angle, that's absolutely fine. Just stay here for one more breath. Everybody in your options, just come and meet us back here when you're ready. Exhale, hands to floor. Move through your flow. Take your option, high to low plank. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Walking out the legs here, option to take a drink if you feel you need it, or coming into child's pose is absolutely okay at any point if you need a little rest. I'll give you 3 more breaths here in case you want a drink of water. I might take it. And you can have a little rest in child's pose if you wish. Otherwise, turbo down dog is there for you, where you bend your elbows and squeeze together. Makes it more intense. Inhale, lifting the left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Get them to touch, maybe upper arm. Inhale up. Exhale to left elbow, maybe upper arm. Inhale to rise. Exhale to right elbow, straighten that left leg underneath you. Open right hand up into fallen triangle. Coming onto that elbow if your wrist starts to hurt on the left. Now from here, you can lift that bottom leg to really work on this glute strength, or maybe you come into a bind, which is actually easier, more into flexibility. Exhale, hands to floor, sweep that leg back into your 3-legged dog. Exhale, the foot comes between the hands and get comfortable in your lunge. I like to just make a little bit more space into my train tracks and push through my back heel. Activate, so lift the quads and the back leg. Push through your front heel, lift the toes up, slowly rise, crescent lunge. Then arrowhead exhale. Fingers are behind you, just making sure, again, your belly's not resting on your quad. That makes it easier. Gazes towards the floor, come a little deeper. One more breath. Exhale, we cross the thumbs, lifting the hands forward. So really nice, strong one from tips of fingers right down to the back heel. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. That should feel like a break. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist towards the left. So we hook that right elbow around the left thigh. Hands come to heart center and twist. The neck and head can relax. If this feels okay for you and you want something different, you can start to play with opening your arms. So if you place your hand on the floor and use that as traction to open and deepen the twist. Again, neck and head relaxed. Exhale, coming out of your twist into warrior two. Coming a little deeper, staying active, tilting the tailbone down. Extended side angle. So your option 1, if you're new to yoga, is staying here, which is still hard because it's strength. Or option 2, if you're working on flexibility, come down. If you have your bind, you can come with me. So binding the hands behind you, walking your back foot forward for bound half moon, just having a little play, seeing if you can lift that back leg. Some days I can do it, and some days I can't, like today. Otherwise, your bird of paradise is always there, which is stepping
lifting the front leg up and straightening once you're up. Whatever option you're having a play with, you've got another 2 breaths. Otherwise, just stay in your extended side angle and work on that flexibility or strength. You make the choice. 1 more breath, coming out of any pose that you're in. Hands come down to the floor. Step your foot back and move through your flow. High to low plank. Inhale to come up. And exhale, down dog. Bringing the knees down, and we'll all come down to rest in child's pose. Forehead rests on the floor, and maybe gently moving the forehead from side to side. Don't get too comfortable, we're not here for too long. Gently start to lift up. Grab your biceps, we're moving into a baby dolphin. We're moving into some baby poses now, baby versions of big poses. So grabbing your biceps, hands out is the right spot for your pincher or forearm balance or dolphin. So baby dolphin is exactly the same. You're going to squeeze your elbows together, protract through your shoulders, and just lift your heels up. If this feels okay and you have a normal dolphin, you can straighten your legs and start to walk your feet, your body over your shoulders. So your shoulders take the weight of your torso. So the closer you walk them, the harder it is. And just release the neck and head if you can. Look towards the back of the room. So the neck is released. If you want to take this a little further, you can lift one leg up and the other. You can also do that in baby dolphin. You can just lift one leg up and then the other leg up. So it doesn't matter which version you're in, you can really start to work into those shoulders. Let's go 1 more lift on each side. 1. And the other side. And then knees down, forehead down, relax. These inversions really get the heart rate up, so just start to take that attention to how that feels, the heart racing. And take some deep breaths. Slowly pushing up. We're coming into a malasana, a yogi squat. So bringing your feet out nice and wide, hands together. If your heels don't touch the floor, you can grab blocks or a book and place them underneath the backs of your heels. That's always an option. For me, I can go to the floor, so I don't need them. Hands in between your chest. Place your elbows on your inner thighs and then start to open the knees out. This is going to be like a vice, opening the knees, opening the hips. So we're tilting the tailbone towards the floor. We're not leaning forward or hunching down. So the more you tilt the tailbone and straighten through spine, the more of a challenge you'll start to feel in the hips. Lifting the toes and getting that weight into the knees. Right arm starts to come down so that your right shoulder's in line with your right knee. Left arm up, relax neck and head. Option, if you are able to do binds, you can reach that top hand behind you and the bottom hand behind you to grab your hands together behind your back. Keep that neck and head relaxed. Please stay here if you're new to yoga. If you want to have a little play with a baby bird of paradise, we're going to start to come onto the left foot. So we're bringing that right foot in towards the body and coming up onto the toes. And then you might start to lift up onto the tippy toes, keeping the bind. Maybe you can start to lift up to the full expression of the pose. Maybe not just stay in your malasana bind or just first malasana option. That's absolutely fine. When you're ready to come down, try and take that control in the legs as you slowly lower down. Coming back to malasana, your yogi squat. Other side. So left hand comes down, so your left knee and shoulder in one line. Inhale, maybe a little gaze up towards the right hand. If you want to come into your bind, your hands come behind you, keep neck and head relaxed. If you want to play with baby bird of paradise, you're going to bring that right foot a little closer under your body, so easier to stand up. Come up onto the left toes, put your heel onto the floor and start to just feel the weight into that right leg. And slowly start to rise up. You might need a few little hops, but that's okay. Doesn't matter if you don't get it today. I'm going to be practicing this one most of this week, so you can come back and practice again. Coming out into your malasana yogi squat. One more baby pose. It's called baby crow. So if you have your full crow, you can play with that now. We come back into our same as what we were doing for our dolphin. We grab our biceps, hands out. We're going to bring our knees close up to the tops of our arms, so almost to your armpits. And you want to squeeze your knees into your arms as much as possible and lean forward a lot. Now, it's not too far to fall, but please put a little pillow under your face if you're nervous. And then you can start, the more you lean forward, maybe you can start to lift the toes up off the floor. And if you do face plant, it's not very far. And then exhale, release. So that's your little baby crow. If you do have your full crow and want to practice that, you're very welcome to. And when you've had enough, just slowly start to rise up and come into a forward fold ragdoll. So grabbing your elbows and a gentle rock from side to side. Bending through your knees and slowly starting to rise up. Hands come through heart center. Inhale to reach up. And exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands to floor, option to step, or if you want to make it a little more challenging, jump back. Lower your knees or come down in full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So now we take it into the hips. So we start to open the hips. Inhale, reach the right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip joint. Now try to take that right foot as close as you can towards the glutes. Try to even the hips so that they're actually not twisting. Also try to make your shoulders not twisting so that they're nice and even. Bend your foot a little more, lift your leg a little higher. Exhale, bring the right foot between the hands, lower the left knee on the floor. For me, I have sensitive knees, so I actually pad up my back knee. So if you want to do that now, you can, I think you can pause this, I'm not sure, but grab something to pad up the knee if you wish. Coming up into a runner's lunge. So we interlace the fingers around and press onto the thighs, we rise up. Tilt the tailbone down, maybe a little of moving the hips forward if that feels okay. If you're generally very flexible, your challenge is to stay strong, so not go into flexibility. If you're very inflexible, you can tilt forward a bit and allow yourself to open through hips. Everyone's a little different. Push into your quads and then pull your quads towards the front of your mat, but maintain even hips. So feeling an intensity through the hip flexor here. Exhale, hands to floor. Coming into aero lunge. So make sure your top of your foot is on the floor. We're going to bring those hands back onto the front quad and then push into the floor and just lift the knee off the floor just a little bit. When you're doing it right, it really starts to burn. Inhale, hands up. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Hold for 1. Hands to floor first, then the knee. Exhale, half splits. So bringing the hips back and straightening through the front leg. Again, checking that your hips are even. You might need to adjust yourself a little bit. Try not to get a twist in the hips. Trying to keep the integrity of the hamstring, getting the stretch here. Inhale to open chest. Maybe start to fold forward a little bit for a little further stretch. Neck can be relaxed or gaze to floor. Inhale, walking hands forward, coming into lizard. So the right foot goes out to the side of the mat, the right-hand side, bringing the elbows down onto the ground, or if you have blocks, you can just stay up here and relax, or maybe you have a chair or the couch or pillows that you could use. If you have that flexibility to bend your elbows and come onto the floor, you can, but you do not have to do that. If it feels okay and deep enough up here, then just stay where you are. Again, checking the hips are even and there's not too much twisting, because the twisting takes us out of where we're supposed to be feeling this stretch. Flying dragon, I'll do it this way so you can see me. So we walk the right foot even a little further out to the right, placing the left hand on the inner thigh, not on the knee, and coming onto the blade edge of the front foot, gazing over right shoulder. So this is a twist and also a hip opener at once. If you feel like your quads are quite bendy and you want to take it a little further, You do have the option to go behind and grab the back leg, but there's a warning with this one. It's a very deep back bend, and also just be very gentle with yourself. It's a deep twist. Exhale, lowering that back leg. Moving into half pigeon. So the right foot goes over towards the left. Shin is as parallel as you can to the front of the mat. If your shin is not parallel, which not even mine is, point the toe to protect the knee. Look behind you, check that the back leg is straight. Option if you have a tweaky knee is to come into figure 4, which looks like this. And just grabbing your shin or the back of your leg. So whichever option you're in, make sure your hips are even, and then start to fold forward. And this pose is a really beautiful one to bring that attention back to the breath. To close the eyes. And scan the body and just see which parts of you are holding tension. And with your mind, seeing if you can allow those muscles to start to release. After you've been here for a little while, it can often be a little good invitation if you want to deepen your experience. You can lift your back toe and walk your back leg a little further back. So start to deepen the stretch. If it starts to become too much, you can just start to lift the chest, which takes the pressure off the fold forward and off the hip, which will lessen your stretch. It's okay to place lots of pillows or blankets under the head, under the arms. Slowly starting to walk the hands up. And when you've got a neutral spine, helping your back leg around towards the front for a fold forward. So bringing the right foot on the inside of the left leg, I remove the extra padding from underneath my glutes to make sure I'm sitting on my sit bones and my hips are in the right position to fold. Inhale, reach up, telescope through ribs. Exhale, look towards that left leg and fold forward. So trying to get that length through back as well as through hamstring. If your hamstring's really tight, you can bend the knee. I always do that because my hamstrings are very tight. Try to keep that chest open as much as possible rather than rounding through the back. So the upper back should try to stay straight. The fold forward will only come once the chest is on the thigh, and then you'll start to see a little bit of rounding as you relax forward. Maybe just creating a little bit of space between the teeth to release the jaw. Maybe rolling the tongue around the mouth and moving that jaw around if you've been holding tension there. Hands walking up so your spine becomes straight and tall. Bringing the right leg over the top of the left. Left arm hooks around as you twist towards the right. Lord of the Fish. Inhale, we rise and lift through chest, lengthen through spine. Exhale to twist a little further. Inhale, coming back to center, both hands towards the left side for counter pose. Drop chest gently towards floor and inhale back up. Exhale, flat tops of the feet to the floor, hands onto the floor, fingers towards you. Inhale, rise up into reverse tabletop. So gazing towards belly, or head drops back if that feels okay for the neck. Keeping hips up, squeezing glutes. Exhale, glutes to floor, crossing the legs. Our little jump backs, which I do a lot of the time, and a lot of people are like, what is that? So with a jump back, you want to put the weight into your hands, but you want to use your little feet as jumps. If this is too much, just step back into plank. But if you want to have a play, try to spring yourself up to give you enough time to get back into plank. Option to lower knees or come down in full chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, roll shoulders back, squeeze the glutes. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bring that heel towards the glute, open the hips. Watching that your hips are even and you're not twisting open. That's another different stretch. I want you to bring your foot as close as you can towards the glute. Keep your shoulders even as well. Lift your knee even higher. So the knee is lifting. Exhale, sweep the left leg between the hands. Lower the right knee down. Like I said, I pad up that right knee. Just because you only get one set of knees in your life and you don't want to wreck them. Hands come in front of you. Interlace fingers. We start to rise up. This will intensify the stretch here. Someone's made a comment, Rosso, what I said. And just interlace your fingers and push down onto the quad and forward, or maybe it was an email. And from this will start to intensify the stretch through the front right hip flexor. The joys of live yoga. From here, we're going to come into our aero lunge. So hands to the floor to make sure that I like to bring my back foot a little closer for this one. Push the top of the foot onto the floor. Hands back onto your quad or stay on the floor if it's quite intense. And then lift up. So the knee just comes up off the floor. The whole foot, top of the foot is flat. The hips are straight and everything, including your glutes, are working really hard. One more breath. Exhale, hands come to floor, then the knee drops down, and then exhale into your half splits. So we straighten through that front leg. Check your hips are even. So I often am surprised how uneven mine are. And start to feel the hamstring really start to engage and pull here. If you want a little more, inhale to open the chest and tilt forward and exhale to fold. Gently coming back onto that front leg, moving the left foot towards the left side of the mat, coming into lizard. Taking your options, you can build a little fortress of pillows if you're not quite bringing your elbows to the floor, and that's okay. Otherwise, elbows can come to floor and relax neck and head down. And have a little move to find that sweet spot in your hips. If everything hurts and it's just maybe a pose that you can work on and do a little more often, the hips take a little while to open. But it's really good for the body to take time here and allow yourself and those muscles to really improve long-term flexibility. Inhale, rise up onto the hands, coming into flying dragon. So coming onto the blade edge of the left foot, left hand comes to the inside of the quad to open the hip. This might be already very intense. If you feel like you want a little more, you can reach behind you and grab the right leg. If this also feels like you want more, that last option is to come down onto your elbows. But choose the option where you feel that you're at your edge, but it's not painful or too much. Neck and head relax. Gently, not letting that back foot spring back. And then walking that foot over towards the right-hand side for half pigeon. Remembering that figure 4 on your back is always an option if your knee is injured or if you know that your knees are not very happy. Again, looking behind us, checking that back foot is flat on the floor and your foot is not doing any weird directions. It's a good indication of what your hips are doing. Hips even, check, and then start to walk the hands forward. Maybe come onto elbows or make some block fortresses at home or pillows. And see if you can find softness at whatever option you choose. To protect the knee, you can point the toe if your front shin is not parallel to the front of the mats. And as you start to stay here, you'll notice that you will slowly start to soften. And imagine with every exhale, you release a little more. And finding that acceptance of what is, coming back to our theme of focusing on what we can control. There's also an acceptance of things that we cannot control. So just accepting the sensation, bringing that attention back to the breath. Just observing if one side is a little more intense than the other side. Maybe you have to go a little more gentle on yourself and release a little, coming out a little. If you did want to intensify this stretch after being here for a while, you can lift up that right foot and walk it a little further back. See, as if you inhale, you can lengthen your chest a little longer and exhale to fold a little deeper. Three more breaths here. And on your last exhale, slowly pushing the hands up and bringing that back leg around towards the front. Again, removing any extra padding from underneath the glutes as we lift the chest. Get that raising up of the chest and the spine. And exhale as we twist towards the right and fold forward. So I always have a much tighter side on my right. I don't know why. Maybe you observe the same in yourself. One side is a little bit more tweaky than the other or less flexible. Use your breath to help you. So as we inhale, we rise and lift the chest. And exhale, just gently walk the hands further forward and maybe get a little deeper on the exhale. Seeing if you're really fighting this pose and you're really pulling and making effort. Seeing if you can just try to make a little less effort and release, relax. And see if that helps. Hands come up onto the tips of fingers, walking the hands back up to a flat neutral back. Left foot goes on top of the straight right leg. Right hand hooks around for Lord of the Fish, getting nice and tall through your spine. Inhale. And exhale to fold and twist. Inhale, come back to center. Both hands come to right hand side for counter stretch. Lowering the chest. Inhale to rise. Place both the balls of the feet or tops of the bottoms of the feet onto the floor and the hands, so the fingers facing towards you. Inhale, rise up for reverse tabletop, or the full expression of the pose is the legs are out straight. Maybe the head falls back. Keep those hips up, keep squeezing glutes, lifting towards the roof. Exhale, lowering those glutes to the floor, bringing the knees into the chest for boats. So if you're finding abs quite challenging, then you want to have your shins parallel to the floor. Activate your feet and stay here with bent knees. If you want to really challenge your core, you're going to straighten out your legs. I like to point my feet when I straighten my legs out. Open the chest, palms facing up towards the roof, no hunching over, as we slowly down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your heels in towards your glutes. We're going to do some little heel touches. So go for 15 counts. So 1 is each side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I did an extra one. Toes up. So you can flex your toes towards your face. We're doing heel touches, another 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And straighten the legs out in front of you for a moment. Inhale, reaching hands up. Coming into a back bend. So we're going to tickle the backs of the heels coming into our bridge. So this is also going to really stretch out through the core that we've just worked. Push the heels into the floor, lift the glutes up, interlace the fingers and roll the shoulders under the body. So squeeze the glutes, push up towards the roof, lift the toes and the rest of the foot is flattened to the floor. Push the heels into the floor, then pull them towards your hands or your shoulders. So you're creating this tension and strength through the legs. Hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly lower down. Windscreen wipe the legs from side to side, gently lowering them from one side to the other. Another bridge. We're going to go for leg raises, but if you want to stay in what we were doing just before, you're very welcome to do that. So tickle the backs of your heels, lift your glutes up, roll your shoulder blades under, interlace hands, push them into floor. Option to stay here. If you want to come with me, the right foot comes into the center of the mat, straighten the left leg out. If that feels okay, lift the left leg up towards the roof for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. The left foot comes down, stay up, don't go anywhere. Walk the left foot into the center of your body. Inhale, option to stretch out the right leg. If this feels okay, lift the foot up towards the roof for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend the knee, lower the foot, slowly lower upper back, middle back, lower back to floor, and windscreen wipe the legs. Moving into your final inversion. So if you're working on your handstands, Russell, this is your opportunity. Or anybody working on your headstand, pincher pose, any sort of inversion is fine. I'm going to teach shoulder stand. So a restful shoulder stand or a restful viparita, placing a block under your hips and heels up, and you can stay here. This is waterfall pose. If you want to try your shoulder stand, you bring your hips up, squeeze your legs together, point them to the roof, and you have your hands on your lower back. So choosing your option now for your last few breaths. If you are in your shoulder stand, you want to take it a little further, you can flex your toes towards your shins coming into plow. So legs come behind you. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. Keep your hands on your lower back to keep that protection. To come out, hands go onto the floor like brakes, and use your core to slowly roll out. So really using that core to control the roll. And gently bringing those legs out straight in front of you. Taking a big breath in. And exhale, bring that right knee in towards the chest. Then bring it up in towards the right armpit. Coming into your supine twist. Exhale, right knee over towards the left side of room. Gaze towards opposite hand. Option to intensify this, you can grab the outside of your right foot and extend the leg straight. Otherwise, just stay exactly where you are, whatever feels good. Gently coming out of your supine twist and straightening your legs. Big breath in. Exhale, left knee in towards the chest, interlace fingers around shin. Exhale, bringing the knee over top of body for supine twist to the opposite side. Gaze is towards the left hand if that feels okay for the neck. Maybe if you want more, you can grab the outside of your left foot and straighten the leg out for a little extra stretch through the leg. Keeping both shoulders on the floor. Bending the knee and gently coming to the other side. And taking one last pose that you feel you really need or you didn't get to do in today's class, any pose that you wish. A really nice option for releasing the spine is a happy baby. So grabbing the outsides of the feet or the insides is okay too, whatever feels good for you today. I sometimes like to play with straightening one leg and then the other leg. And then gently coming to your final resting pose, your Savasana. We'll take a breath in together and exhale, release. And I'd like you to take this time to focus on some of the things in your life in which you do have control. And maybe some things that you can focus on in your daily schedule or practice that can really help improve your life. Gently starting to deepen your breath. You're welcome to stay as you are. Or if you wish to come out with us, gently touch your thumb to your first finger, bringing all your attention to that sensation. And gently running your thumb across each of your fingertips.
Really savoring that sensation. Maybe licking the lips and moving the head gently from side to side. Inhale, reaching hands up overhead, pointing the toes, stretching through the body. And exhale, bringing knees in towards the chest and giving yourself a big hug. When you're feeling ready, keeping eyes closed, rolling onto your favorite side and using your bottom arm as a pillow. Gently helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the palms onto the knees, relaxing the shoulders back and down. Taking our last few moments together to really remember that there are a lot of things in our life that are outside our control. And by focusing on the things outside our control will often bring us unhappiness and anxiety, catastrophizing the future, worrying about things that haven't happened yet. And see if we can try through our mind to focus on the things we can control. And by focusing on these things and finding success in what we can control, our overall mentality will improve. Maybe turning off the media, not checking your phone for a while. Bring your hands to your heart, take a breath in. And exhale, release. I invite you to leave your social media and media platforms off for the rest of the evening and see if you can allow that to help you to relax. Namaste, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the practice. I enjoyed teaching you and hope to see you again soon. If you can take pictures of you practicing and post it on Instagram, that's always great. And just tag us. We'd love to see you guys in your home practice. Makes us really happy. So bye, guys. Have a great night. Bye.